Hello, Buffaloes. Today, and we are starting our last assignment for this unit. It is creative writing for Gothic Lit. You can find it. Um, I'm gonna go over this for a few minutes, and you will have class time over the next 3 days to work on this in class. All right. So by now we know what Gothic Lit is. We know that it relies heavily on setting. It relies on an element of supernatural. We know that it is usually pretty dark themed. There's definitely a mood of melancholy, sorrow, that kind of thing. Just think about all the texts we have read so far. So, your assignment is to write, you have a choice, okay? You only pick one. So, you can write 2 original Gothic style poems or an original Gothic style short story or an original Gothic style graphic novel. Okay? So, one of the ways we can do this is let's look at the Gothic style poems first. Let's take these one at a time. Okay? So, the Gothic style poems, you compose 2 original poems. Think like Poe. All right? So, Annabel Lee, The Raven, El Dorado, those kinds of poems. It should be 6 stanzas, 6 to 8 lines per stanza. You need to have a rhyme scheme. It doesn't have to be Poe's rhyme scheme. It can be one that you make up. So your rhyme scheme could be ABC, ABC, right? It could be A, B, A, B, A, B. Right? It's up to you. It should have loss, the mood of loss, grief, or regret. You should make a reference to a storm somewhere and have dark imagery, demons, burial, focus on the eyes, focus on, let's see, you could use a vortex, right? You could use, you could use vortex, you could use clocks, time, that kind of thing. All right, your setting, right? The dark, foreboding setting. I have provided you with a couple of examples by Poe. We have Dream Within a Dream, we have El Dorado, and we have Annabel Lee. So you can look at those to get a better idea of what we're talking about in regards to Gothic poems. So you're writing 2, and they need to be 6 stanzas, 6 to 8 lines for each stanza. Needs to have a rhyme scheme. Use 19th century vocabulary. You must use 10 of your 20 vocabulary words from this unit and underline them. Okay? All right. The other option, there's 2 other options, obviously. We have the Gothic style graphic novel. So let's look at that one. And I've given you some examples of what some backgrounds or comic strip storyboards you can use. They're in Canva. So you want to create a visual Gothic tale using Canva. You need to caption descriptions and use bubbles for dialogue. So caption like here, and then you would use these bubbles for dialogue. You need to have 5 pages with colorful images. You need to use imagery, onomatopoeia, and hyperbole because that's what graphic novels focus on. All right? And then you need to submit the link to Canvas. So you need to have something that kind of looks something like this, but 5 pages. But I have also provided a couple other examples that you can use. All right. There's this one. I like these. These are cool. And then, so you can see there's lots of different layouts. All right. The third option is the Gothic style short story. So this should be 3 pages typed in double spaced. And it must be original. So you're kind of taking a page out of Poe's playbook here. All right. So let me pull one up for you. So you want to have it somewhat like this. Make sure that your paragraphs are indented. Approaching storm was ominous. Blinding light flashed, followed by deep bellowing, rolling thunder. The pavement was treacherous. Okay, so you get the idea. You want to create the setting. You need to have 2 characters. You need to have what else? Okay, right here. You need to have 2 characters, a dark and stormy setting, midnight, wind howling, mood, melancholy, sorrow or grieving. You need to have a symbol. There should be conflict and resolution, and this goes for the graphic novel and the Gothic story. Your theme can be something along the lines of love never dies, you cannot escape death, this kind of thing. You are your own worst enemy. Once again, you need to have 10 vocabulary words from your 20 in your notebook, and you need to use those in your story. Okay, so need to underline them while they're in your story. So if I were to bring up my story again, okay, so I'm going to, ominous was a word, so you would underline it just like that, and that's how you would do it. If you have any questions, come by and talk to me.